Hi, my name is Q and I make stuff. Welcome to my workroom. I really enjoy making stuffed animals for people, and I especially like making stuffed animals that look like a real critter, and especially beloved animals that have passed on. I'm going to show you how I construct one such cat, and I'll insert a picture to show you what Esper looks like. And I would like to talk about what I really love about projects like this. and this is going to be super meaningful to somebody. And so I pour a lot of love and intention into these little stuffed animals. Follow along and see how I put together one of the mixed kitties.
Okay, so here we are at the sewing machine. I just bought this thing. It's a Juki 8700 DDL stroke 7. So it's got some automatic features, and I tell you, this thing has been the greatest. I've really enjoyed working on this sewing machine, and it's a huge improvement from literally any domestic machine that I have. So here I am just constructing the head. And here's the secret. Look at this. Sewing a doll body is sewing around a piece of paper in the shape of the doll. I do have more complicated doll patterns, I swear. So this video is sped up to like 600%, so it's not 3 hours long. It's gonna be long as it is anyway. Oops, I missed some stuff on the toes, so I'm going to shorten the legs a little bit and make sure that I capture all of the fur that I'm trying to utilize to make the body here. Ooh, and the ears. And I just put pins in to mark my stop and start point. I actually made a mistake on this tail, and I ended up remaking it later. Here I'm making a wolf paw that will become a key ring later. If you remember the lucky rabbit's paw, but I'm making a lucky wolf paw out of faux fur. Turning the head right side out. Just the beginnings of shaping the fur. And here I'm using a comb just to comb out the seams. Working with fur is always so messy. I was coated in this stuff for ages. This is when I realized that I made the tail incorrectly. I didn't give myself enough seam allowance on the bottom to allow for enough shagginess of the tail. So I'm going to make another one. I found this silly Sherpa fleece that I thought would be really cute for this rag doll's little arms and legs, because it's just the right color combination. And I like to do this kind of thing where I'm not taking the likeness too seriously. And to add in a little bit of whimsy, why not plaid? But I was still really still considering it. Like, is this something I really wanted to do? And I wasn't committed yet. But thinking on the fly and giving it a shot. These pieces will become socks And here's that tail. I'm going to try again. Try and snip it out so that it has enough shag on the end that it isn't truncated and cut off. And I'm being really careful to snip just the base of the fur, not the actual fibers of the fur. Moment of truth. I'm trying really hard to not overwork the fur because I don't want to pull out any of the fibers. I had found a spot that I didn't get sewn down, didn't get captured in the machine, so I'm just hand sewing it into place. Trying to get Esper's facial markings just so the way the pattern pieces of the head are constructed don't allow me to put in the shape of her white fur that goes up between her eyes. Here, I've been saving these polar fleece scraps for ages so that I can stuff toys with their own scraps. There's some leg scraps going into her head. Doing everything I can to reduce my waste stream, and polar fleece is something that doesn't compost or break down, so if I can use it in place of or in conjunction with stuffing like fiberfill to do some of the bulk of the work. Again, I'm still using fiberfill just to give it softness and shape, but if I can do the bulk of the stuffing with the polar fleece scraps, I'm winning. It's heavier than the polyfill, so gives the bottom of the feet and the bottom of the paws a little bit more weight. Here I'm marking where the knees are going to go. So I stuff down till about the knee joint, and then I pin that spot closed, so then I can begin stuffing again at that point. So it helps create the illusion of a knee. When I'm working on a critter or a doll that has the likeness of a real animal, sometimes some of these actions can feel a little brutal. So I could have sewn these plaid socks on in the initial process, but I wasn't really sure how I was going to go about it. I really decided to commit to it after I'd already done that work. So this particular project is a memorial kitty. The person who commissioned it, woke up one day and found that her cat, Esper, had passed in her sleep. And honestly, that's one of those things that I am afraid of. I have 2 older cats, and I worry about them being old. I mean, they're 15, so they're old. And making this cat just hits all the soft spots for me. So I'm using a ladder stitch to sew the ear down. Making sure I get the ear curtains just so. So here I'm going to do that fur shaping before I even sew it on. I was trying to get the velveteen quality of the back of a cat's ears just right. And the fur that I used for its body is so soft. It's so soft you almost can't feel it. So I'm about to embroider the mouth. And I found this to be really challenging in all of the fur, and it is probably going to be invisible, but it's a detail that I felt was still required. here I'm shaping the fur to give the face a lot more definition. I'm carving out the muzzle of the cat. Oh, and here's my cat. She's helping to infuse magic into this kitty that I'm making. So our little friend Esper is really coming along here. Here I match up the side seams of the head and the side seam of the shoulder. And I do that on each side so that I sew the head on straight. There have been times where I've sewn a head on and it was just a little bit wonky. So I've taken to doing this where I match up my seams first. And then I can go around. So here I'm using a big ladder stitch and a doll making needle. And again, in this fur, it's really hard to see how big or small a bite I'm taking as I stitch around. Here I think I just decided that I would just live with the large stitch and go around a couple of times. So there's our little buddy, Esper. I'm going to go back to doing a little bit more fur shaping to try and kind of knock down the edges of where these different materials come together. And this is fiddly. These furs are all different lengths, so I'm trying to give Esper a little bit of a haircut to smooth out those lines. I decided to give Esper a little tiny bit of sparkle in her ruff. Long-haired cats have this really beautiful full chest ruff. And I have this really fun little fur that has some silver sparkle in it. I love working on projects like this. I think they're really fulfilling. And I love how special they are. And that's it. That's our little buddy Esper. Here's some pictures. Thanks for watching.
So I had a lot of fun working on that project, and I really truly hope that the person that it went to loves it as much as I loved working on it. If you'd like to see more stuff like this, give me a thumbs up, subscribe. I have some new projects coming up that we can work on together. I have some really cute little easy stuffed thingies that we can make together. So subscribe, and I'll see you next time.